Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's edition of Contractors Chatter. Oh, my goodness. Good Friday morning to everyone. Oh, my goodness. Ah, I'm experiencing dry skin this morning. Well, it's Friday. I know everyone is excited for the weekend. I know I'm excited for the weekend. It has been an amazing week. You know how we do. As you come into the room, say hello. Excuse me. Share this out through your network, through your community. If you know anyone who's establishing in a business, wants to integrate government contracting into their business, share this with them. We do not believe in growing alone. That is one of the things I see business owners attempting to do. They attempt to grow alone, and I'm telling you, doing it alone it just makes it harder. It just makes it excuse me. You know what? I don't know why Kermit the Frog likes to join me when I go live. It's so rude of him. He's not wanted. No, Kermit has his place. It's not during this live. Anyway, so let's get this party started. I wanted to do something of a recap today, a little unorthodox, or an orthodox recap, but a little bit of a recap. And I want to preface it or start with it by talking about a training that I am on. And I know you're talking about, you're always on a training because professional development is important. If you're not constantly developing your craft, if you're not constantly honing your skills, then you're doing yourself, I'm sorry, that dryness was killing me. You're doing yourself a disservice. You should constantly be honing your craft. You should constantly be perfecting your skills. You should constantly be developing yourself as a leader. So a leader who isn't constantly training, I'm not saying you should be perpetually in a class to the point that you can't grow your business. I'm saying true leaders are always learning and then implementing what they learn. Period. I know this is radical because there are people out here talking about you need to stop learning and start implementing. Anybody who's telling you to stop learning is somebody you should never listen to. You should learn until you go. Because when you stop learning, you stop growing. That's the problem with people. They stop learning, so therefore they stop growing. I'm going to say that again. When you stop learning, you stop growing. And what I mean by that is when you stop learning, that is when you say, I know enough. I know all there is to know. There's nothing else for me to know. And therefore, I'm not going to attend any other workshop. I'm not going to attend any other conferences. I'm not going to attend any other webinars. That's it. So I know it all. Nobody knows it all. Coaches, good coaches have coaches. Good mentors have mentors. We all learn from one another. We all learn from somebody who is 10 steps ahead of us. I learn from people who are doing things amazingly and abundantly, who are exceeding ahead of me. That's just what it is. And then I have people who learn from me because I'm an expert at what I do. They're experts at what they do. We learn from one another. You learn until you go. That's it. So you will forever hear me saying, I'm attending a class or I'm in a class because I'm always going to learn until the day the good Lord calls me. That's just it. It is what it is. For those of you who disagree with that thought, then I'm not your person. With that said, I was in a training and I have a mentor who talks about you have to be careful of the field you glean from. And I'm in that training because I'm publishing a series of books. And she's a book publisher. And I'm taking her training. It's around because I'm self-publishing my first book. And quite frankly, I'm still on the fence around self-publishing. And she said some things in her training that, which is why I'm doing this recap today. When you establish your business, you get to establish the order. It's just point blank. There is no hard, fast rule saying that you have to have a $49 order offer. And that's the only way to establish credibility. You could be having a hard time reaching your target market because your prices are too low. Your target audience could be mid-tier businesses, but your mid-tier business does not buy at a $49 rate, period. So they will never buy from you because you are offering at a mid-tier rate. So stop buying into the myth that the only way to establish credibility is to start off at a low ticket. Stop buying into the myth that the only way to establish credibility is to have a freemium, as they call it. There are people who start their businesses and their offers are at $10,000 and that's it. That is where they start, and they start well there, and that is their only place they start. There are consultants that start there. And you know what? It's their truth, and that is where they start. And you know how I know? Because I've met them. I didn't believe it at first until I've talked to them and I've talked to people who work with them and I've heard them. They really did start there. You know why? Because they came into the game understanding. People who walk that freemium on the way up are people who have to understand their worth first. They're the only people who start with that freemium and work their way up. People who hit the ground running are the people who understand their value when they hit the market. Everybody doesn't do that stair step thing. There's a place for freemium. And when I'm talking about freemium, I'm talking about the free offerings. There's a place for it in everybody's wheelhouse. I'm not saying that you aren't supposed to do it, because my mentor and coach from afar, he talks about you don't sell to the broke and the poor. He feels that that's disingenuous. And I agree with him. These coaches that hard pressed to sell to people who really can't afford their services, that is morally corrupt. So I offer some free trainings, and I'm getting ready to re-release some free trainings to people who honestly cannot afford my services. That is my give back, because my pricing is not for certain people. But I do offer some things to help people until they get to the point they can afford me. I do not do the hard sell. I do not do that. Well, you can afford anything. Well, because there are people honestly can't afford it. I do not agree with this mentality. You can afford anything you want to. Where I do believe you can sell and you can work your way to afford whatever, I don't believe in the concept of shaming people into affording things they don't want to afford. Um, you establish your business, to get back on point, the way you wish to establish it. So, any coach who is trying to coach you into changing your format or structure to meet their idea is not the coach for you. They're just not your coach. You need to find somebody, a coach, and I'm using coach because the consultants don't do that. Consultants come in, do an overarching review, make recommendations, and implement that recommendation. Coaches are the ones who tend to do that. And if it's a consultant, coaches, consultants, whatever, anybody who's telling you that you have to do your business a certain way is not who you need to follow, because there's no one hard, fast rule. It's how you really want to do your business. If you don't want to offer anything for free, you don't have to. You need to write a book and give it away. Who told you that? Nobody. Who says that's the only way to do business? There's no rule out there saying that. Success leaves clues. And what you do is follow the person who is the model of success for you. I don't know where this concept comes from. And there's this obsession with people giving away things so somebody else can make money. I've never understood that. I really think that, you know what, I know where it comes from, but that's another story for another day. So I just want to caution my audience against that. And I know Chatter lately has been doing a lot of mindset work, but I've just been bumping into this a lot. And I just have to talk to my audience. No, don't do it. You don't have to fall prey to that. You really don't. You don't have to fall prey to that. As I've said, I'm in June. I'm going to release a series of interviews with experts who are going to be speakers at the Contractors Intensive. I have rescheduled the Contractors Intensive. It's not going to be September of this year. It's going to be in 2024. The date is coming shortly. However, I am doing an event in 2023 where I'm bringing together myself and two of the facilitators from the Contractors Intensive. So I am doing a micro event, and I'm doing some other things this year. So all roads lead to the Contractors Intensive. It is going to be amazing. So, yes, there's going to be a lot of amazing things coming out this year. And today is just really like Announcement Friday. That's what today is, Announcements Friday. Keep in mind, Contractors Chatter beginning in June, will only stream from LinkedIn and YouTube. So join my YouTube channel. Set your notifications so you know when I stream live. I have a few master classes coming out, and the master classes are to address some of the some of the questions that I have been receiving that are too long for me to answer on this platform. This platform is not designed to hold master classes. So the master classes that I'm releasing are to answer questions that I've been receiving. So be on the lookout for those master classes. Master classes announcements. I'm getting notifications and doing this at the same time. It's kind of distracting. As you enter the room, say hello. Comment in the chat. You know how we were raised. You say hello when you enter the room. If you're catching this by the replay, #replay. Share this out throughout your community. Stream of consciousness was slightly broken. Monday, I'm not doing chatter. I'm taking Monday off. Memorial weekend this weekend. I am spending time with the children, and we're just going to have fun. We've started watching a new series and just having time. So we're going to finish that up on Monday and having a lazy day. So chatter will not be with us on Monday. I will return Tuesday morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to do the thing, talking about the debt ceiling, talking about the changes to the 8A, SBA's testimony before Congress. It's just so much that's been going on, the Federal Registry, and a plethora of other things. I have new podcast episodes dropping. I have been doing a lot of work digging in the archives to bring out some old content, and some of the content I've been re-recording some content, because while I feel it's still pertinent, it needs to be refreshed. In government contracting, there's a concept called current, accurate, and complete. And while the information is accurate, it's not current. So I'm re-recording some content to put out here. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting. It is Friday of Memorial Weekend. There's somebody who's always on my chatter, and I was trying to figure out where she was. She's on her way to DC, if not in DC. So that's where my faithful viewer is. Not that I don't appreciate everyone. It's just that she's always faithfully been on ever since I've gone live with chatter. So I miss her when she isn't on with me. So have a good weekend, Lavanya. I'll see you after you come back, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the pictures from the weekend. So that's it for this announcement Friday. I'm quite sure I've missed a few other announcements, but that's okay. I just want everybody to have a restful weekend. Keep in mind my favorite saying: a stressed mind cannot create. So take time this weekend and spend it with your family, your friends. Spend it with yourself. Step away from whatever problems that you may be having, and then reapproach it next week with a fresh mind. I'm Luciana Turner, your host. As I get ready to step into this long weekend, chatter will return Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. because I'm going to take my own advice and enjoy this extended holiday weekend. Have an amazing weekend, and I look forward to seeing everybody Tuesday morning for another edition of Contractors Chatter. Have a good one, everyone.